How you doing, guys? Today we're going to take a look at my 1957 RJ35. Now this has been on the channel a number of times. This is my only RJ35 I have left. All my other ones I have sold over the years, and I've had a lot of these tractors. Decided to take this one out and do my typical year-end, winterizing, put it away for the winter and be done with it. But everything was going fine. It was running great. Then it ran out of gas. Not a big deal. Fully wanted that to happen. But as I was pushing it home, because I had taken it out on the street, I heard a knocking noise just while it was rolling coming from this hub. So what we're going to do today is we're going to pull that wheel and we're going to pull that hub and see if we can find out what's knocking around. Okay, with the wheel off, just take the 3 lug nuts off. We make sure that this thing is unlocked from the hub, so it spins free. We just got to remove this cotter pin, and then the whole assembly will slide right off the axle shaft. Or at least in theory, it should do that. So let me get a pair of needle nose pliers, let me get this thing off, and I'm just going to slide this off the axle shaft. And we'll take a look at 1, the paws, and 2, the back, where the sawtooth is, the back of the hub itself. Okay, I got the hub system apart, and although it looks like I've torn a lot of parts apart, it really isn't that. There isn't a whole lot. You have the main cotter pin, which goes here. The next thing is you'll find on some of them they'll have these thin washers, like right there. And those are the shim washers. Those are what keep the hub from sliding back and forth on the axle shaft. It actually fills the space, so the hub, the paw, and the cotter pin are all this, it just kind of fills this area in so the whole assembly doesn't slide back and forth on the axle shaft. So cotter pin, shims, then the hub, then there's the paw. Okay, this is the paw right here. And essentially it has like an arm, let me put it like this, it has an arm that goes back and forth, and that's how it engages the teeth in the hub. Okay, and that's held in by a Woodruff key. So they're basically, the reassembly is pretty simple. Put the Woodruff key back in the Woodruff key slot. Take the paw, and in this case the roll pins have to go towards the backing plate. Slide the paw system on. Then goes the hub, shims, and then the cotter pin. Now this particular tractor has the later style spring system. Typically 55s and 56s, what you'll see is there'll be a small hole. This one maybe actually have it. No, this one doesn't. Sometimes on the back side of these paws, you will see a small hole, and that would be for a very small spring which dragged on the backing plate, and that's what created the resistance for the paw to go in and out. As it spun this way, it would draw the paw in one direction. If it went the other direction for like reverse, it would draw the paw, drag the paw into the other position, and then the ends of the paws engage in the teeth. Now, one thing that I did to this tractor, if you go way back in my videos, you will notice that I welded the teeth of this hub. This is made out of cast iron, so I MIG welded the teeth back in, and in order to save it, because the reproductions of these, I don't believe they reproduce them anymore, and they were really expensive at the time. They were like $360, $370 for the two. Plus, these were the originals to the tractor. They weren't really that bad. If I remember correctly, only one of them was in real rough shape. It might have been this one. It could be the other one. But interesting, I did find some little chunks of metal in the hub, which actually work out to be some delaminations of the MIG weld from the cast iron teeth. So, I mean, could that have been the cause of the knock? This thing, when I was rolling it without the motor, not under power, it had an audible knock, like a thunk, thunk, and it was coming from this hub. Now, I don't know exactly what it was, but I could tell you the bronze bushing that I replaced is still in good shape. There's no up and down play, there's no side to side play, and it doesn't go in and out. So the bushings and the axle itself look to be in great shape. There's no undue wear, you know, nothing that was not what you wouldn't call normal after what, 70 years, 60 years. The hub itself looks fine. Yeah, a couple of the teeth lost the tops, but it's no big deal. Once the paw engages into a tooth, you're off and running because it only engages in one cavity with the paw. So, you know, the Woodruff key is good. There's no undue wear. I had put a brand new Woodruff key in it. This Woodruff key is in perfect shape. There's no grooves. There's nothing. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean it all up, re-grease it, put it back together, and we'll see what happens. Maybe one of those little tooth chips was just causing a little resistance or something, or was stuck in the grease somewhere. I don't know. It happens. What are you going to do? So let me go ahead and get this thing back together, cleaned up, get it back together, and we'll see what happened, or see what happens. Okay, we're on floor cam. We're going to go ahead and reinstall the hub system on an RJ35. Essentially, everything that I'm doing here is going to, if you wanted to disassemble this, it's the actual opposite of what I'm doing right now. Pretty simple. First thing we're going to do is I've wiped it all down. I haven't really gone crazy with it, meaning cleaning it, but I wiped it down. I'm going to put some grease, just regular bearing grease, on the backing plate here. This is where the guide spring on this machine rides, so go ahead and just pre-grease that up. Just put it on there. Don't be afraid. Now this actual back piece here shows some pretty big wear from the years. It's nothing that I've done. It is just what it is. You know, it's something years old. This thing's like old as heck. So go ahead, just put some grease in there. This will all pre-lube everything up. Next is to wipe off my finger. Then get the Woodruff key, drop the Woodruff key in place. So that's all set to go. Next, we're going to put the paw spring in place. In this case, let's see here. Yes, I want to put it in the down position like this. Just go ahead and give it a little snap. Push it all the way to the back of the backing plates. Have your spring ends sticking out the bottom. Next, we're going to take our paw kit, put paw on. We're going to line it up with the Woodruff key. So that slides in. Now, these two spring ends have to be on the bottom side of the paw. Just keep that in mind. If you don't do it that way, it's not going to work. Make sure it seats all the way in. And we have both spring ends right here. That holds that paw in that position. Next, we're going to put our hub. Go ahead, put the hub. Just going to throw some grease in here. I just wiped it out. It really wasn't dirty, but I just went ahead and wiped it out. I'm just going to put some grease in here so that way it's all lubricated. Put some on the face. Put some on the back face here because this rides on the paw. Go ahead, just do that. I'm going to go ahead and slide it on. It shouldn't make any difference where it is. Just get it so it goes all the way down, and that appears to have worked. So we'll get a paper towel here. We'll wipe this excess off. We don't need that, so let's get that mess out of the way. All right, do that. Oh, I gotta get my pliers and just straighten out that cotter pin. So let's go ahead and grab this. Grab this too. Alright, so let's go ahead and straighten out this cotter pin a little bit. I usually get new cotter pins, but these big ones, they don't wear out, so they just get a little bent up. So what I do is I'm just going to go ahead and give that a little push here and a little push there in order to get it right, or get it in. That should be sufficient. All right, where's the hammer? Oh, hammer's over here too. So go ahead and get the hammer. tap that down. There we go. Now, just go ahead and swipe that up, get a little bit of that crud out of the way. Grab my lineman pliers. I'm going to bend it around as much as I can with the lineman pliers. That. Get a little bit more. All right. Now I'm going to go get a pair of needle nose to get them really tight, because you have to get these cotter pins in fairly tight in order to get the wheel back on, essentially. So I'm just going to do that. Make sure it's good. Take the channel locks, grab the ends, squeeze them in. Oh man, classic, I made a mistake. We forgot to put the axle shims in. Dang it. So let's go ahead and do this again. We're gonna pull this off. Oh man, this cotter pin's really bought the farm now. I might have to go get a new one, but we'll try to save it anyways. Come on. Alright, there's the cotter pin. The axle shims, sorry. Axle shims go on next. Cotter pin goes back in. It's a little bit bent up, but it fits just fine. It's going to work just fine. Let's go ahead and bend that around. Go ahead and bend this around. And there we go. Grab this again. The channel locks, bend them in nice and tight, so that way they look nice. All looks nice. Get a piece of paper here, just wipe it up. Yeah, the axle feels good, man. Interesting. I just don't know. I don't hear anything now. Yeah, seems to be good. I'm going to go ahead and put the tire back on and we'll take a look at the finished product. One thing about putting tires on an RJ35, these hubs are paper thin. You do not have to drive this home with an impact. Just, get them tight, snug it down, leave it alone. You snap off this ear, I should say, and that's it. You're done. This hub is pretty much trashed. I've seen people kind of braze weld them. Sometimes they MIG weld them back in. But at the end of the day, it can be completely avoided. Put the tire on, make them, snug, and just give them just a little crank. And then leave it alone. Don't touch it. It's fine. These things don't go fast enough where the tire's going to fall off and you're going to careen out of control. You'll know this thing will start shifting all over the place. So let me finish this up. Get the wood and the blocks out of the way, get the tires back on, and we'll take a look at what this machine looks like all done. And there it is, all back together, standing back on its tires. This thing is going to get winterized and put away. Now the question, does it still make that knocking noise when I push it or when it's not under load? And the answer to that question is no. I must have cleaned something out and readjusted everything, and it is back in working order. All right. Well, this was a spontaneous video. I know I haven't been around much lately, but with the whole pandemic baloney, everything's been canceled. I really haven't had a whole lot of initiative to work on tractors, to be honest with you. I have worked on, I got half a video completed with the Senior. I'll be releasing that one shortly, but in general I really haven't been working on my tractors a whole lot. What I've been doing this summer for the most part has been playing my guitar. I actually just bought a new guitar and I've been enjoying that, to be honest with you. I might put up a guitar video. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a guitar video. Not me playing, because I pretty much suck. But in general, I do have a bunch of guitars, and you might find that interesting. I found a little bit more fun in that this year than actually working on the tractors, because there's nowhere to really kind of go. But with that, again, thank you all for your support. Thank you for watching. I hope you found the video interesting. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, till the next video, thank you very much, and have a good day.